Hey, I thought it was easiest just to give you a short video to kind of go through your ad, give you some feedback, and hopefully get you going in the right direction. So, first of all, well done in kind of taking action, putting this together, and getting it out there. So, just want to kind of go through what you have, kind of offer some advice on how you could, you can obviously run this ad, see how it goes, but it's always helpful to kind of have a second ad to test against it and see how that performs as well. So a couple things kind of just stand out for me. So I'm not sure what your campaign objective is going back to the Facebook event. But what I would do is run a conversion event to some kind of landing page. It could be some page on your website or somewhere else that just gives a little bit more information about what these 3 days is going to encompass. Because really the idea of the ad is to get in front of these moms or get in front of these women and catch their attention, get them interested in your event, and then click through to the ad to a next page where they learn a lot. By clicking on the ad, they are showing interest, and they go to a page where they have a lot more information about you and what you've been able to do for clients, things like that. The problem with what you have right now is it goes to a Facebook event, which really has not much information at all. So again, like the details are pretty sparse in terms of $6.99, but what am I getting for it? And it's got 12 hours 45 minutes. So again, like the investment for them isn't a lot, but the time investment is pretty big. So for me, to get as many people as possible in front of to be interested in this, I would have to, I think you have to give a little bit more information about what this online event means. Again, think about it as like the ad kind of, like catches their attention. They're curious now. They click through to that event, and really that landing page I would take them to, or some kind of website page, would kind of pique their curiosity a little bit. So what I did, there was actually a recent ad, just to give you an example of one that I just clicked on that was only a 1-day event, but it'll give you an idea. So this is obviously something different from what you're doing, but this is just again kind of has the same niche, conscious parenting revolution. Again, they have an ad that kind of speaks to this audience, and I'll go through your ad in just a second. But again, they're just going to a challenge. We want to start your journey. So again, the whole idea of the ad is to catch the parent, like this mom's attention, get them clicking through to this landing page right here. And it goes to this page right here. And, this one's 5 days. So yours is 3 days. This one's 5 days. But you can see there's a lot more information about it. So it's a 5-day live online training. Here's all the things that you're going to learn. It's got a countdown timer. It's got a little bit of price anchoring as well. So $9.97, crossing that out for $17. Provides a little bit of an introduction, like, okay, who is this? Who is Catherine? And gives you the times, give you the dates. Each of the days lays out what you're going to cover. What are some of the solutions? What you're going to get out of it? What are some of those key problems that you're going to cover? A picture of her as well. Again, just some more copy about, like, again, this is just copied over from the ad. So you can see this is very basic. Again, some credibility around here, 3-time TEDx speaker, founder of the Conscious Parenting Revolution, parenting coach. So just some credibility. And I think you have the same thing in terms of, maybe not being a TEDx speaker, but your story and looking at your page and looking at your website, you have plenty that you could put in there to really connect with these moms as well. And then she's got a couple testimonials. So if you've got a couple testimonials from your programs, it'd be great to put them there. Like, again, this doesn't have to be, this is a pretty basic landing page. What you could also do is just put like a really short video, could be like 10 minutes or less, kind of describing like, okay, in these 3 days, here's what I'm going to cover. Here's all the benefits that you're going to get out of it. Here's kind of all the problems that you might be going through. Here's a short introduction of who I am, and kind of go back to maybe some of the problems that you had when you were living in the UK and, going through that. So you can really connect with them as an audience. And I kind of saw on I think it was on your website where you've got some video up. Video is a great way to kind of connect with moms so they get to know you a little bit better, especially if you're going to a live event. They want to be able to meet you and connect with you before they hit that purchase button. So that's what I would kind of recommend, is just kind of some little short landing page, maybe a little short video that you put on here to give a little bit more detail about what those 3 days encompass. What is your formula that you're going to bring forward, and what are all the benefits that are going to come through, and what are the key problems that these moms are dealing with right now, or whoever your key audience is dealing with right now, so they know when they're in the right place. Again, you can include a countdown timer and things like that, but then you can kind of put the purchase thing on there. So that would be kind of number one is instead of going with the Facebook calendar event where you don't have a lot of space, they don't give you a lot of opportunity to put a lot of information in there. The reason why people might be interested, but they might not hit that get access is just there's not enough information on this page to get them there. And there's not enough information in the ad. So really just think about it as kind of like a two-step process. Number one, we got to catch their attention, get them interested. Number two is actually give them the details around what that 3 days is going to include, things like that. So we don't want to do all that in the ad. We want to do it kind of in a two-step process. So that's why I would kind of recommend a conversion ad with some kind of short video that you can place on a website, just for them to kind of get to know you a little bit more about your story, what it's going to entail, things like that. So that's number one. And again, you can put a video here as well, just a really short video. Again, because you're a mom that has 3 kids, a great way to kind of connect with people, not only in the ad copy up here, but also right here is just another opportunity to put a very short video. Again, I would do it 30 seconds or a minute to allow them to kind of connect with you. You can talk about, some of your story. What I recommend is kind of in the ad copy, but also in the video here, tell a little bit more about your story and tell your audience why you're just like them, why you've been in their shoes before, and we're able to get to the other side, kind of your transformational story. So if we kind of just take a look at your ad, above the see more button, so everybody's going to have to see this, hit this see more button to see the rest of it. What I would say is with the image, again, going back to the image, if you use the image, the one thing is that you have too much text over here. Facebook doesn't like more than 20% of the image to have text on it, just because it looks like an ad. They want ads that kind of look more like a regular post. Also the image, really the image and kind of, the couple sentences up above here among the see more button, the only real job of that, and even the headline below the image, the only real job of those is to catch people's attention, not to sell them on the event or anything else. We just want to kind of stop their scroll as much as possible. So in thinking about the image, maybe something it can be black and white. That's perfectly fine, but I want something that really is going to catch their attention. I think with this picture right here, it's not enticing enough. It doesn't really jump off the page where a mom is going to stop their scroll and be like, wow, I've got to check this out and read the ad copy or read the headline or whatever it is. So really think about that. Again, taking away some of this text will kind of help you as well. Facebook will obviously let you run the ad, but what will happen is if you have too much text in the image, it'll charge you more for putting your ad in front of the same amount of people. So you'll see that as it comes through. So again, the way I'd kind of think about these first few lines is how can I catch their attention? What can I put in there that really sparks their attention? So again, I'm a copywriter that focuses on moms. The way I kind of test it out is, can you put something in here that really speaks to the problems that they're dealing with right now? Maybe, being overwhelmed as a mom. That's where I kind of suggested maybe potentially using your story as a great lead-in to this and kind of talking about your transformation. So maybe if you thought about kind of your lowest moment as a mom, when your husband was away working and you're expecting your third kid, what were those thoughts in your head that you were having, and how can you kind of put them right here, and how can you put that emotional language in there, because that's where we really want to catch these moms in your audience and hit them emotionally, because that's where we're going to get them to take action. So that's kind of the first few lines is what can you put in there to really catch their attention from their problem perspective, or how can you kind of talk about the potential transformation? So once they've been through the 3 days with you, what are they going to be able to experience? What have you experienced in your own life that you've been able to, think about, help them visualize what their end goal might look like in a few sentences here. What I typically, what I've found works pretty well is obviously start with the problem here. And again, if I go back to the ad that I saw before, That's kind of what their approach was. The tantrums, the meltdowns, they just won't stop. Taking away privileges or giving rewards is not helping. The parenting experts said it would work, but it didn't. The chore chart is going in the trash. So again, those couple of lines are right above the see more button, and those are just designed to kind of catch people's attention. Hit that see more button, and they hit the rest. And in the same way that I would kind of I would suggest for you, once you meet them exactly where they are, that's where you start in kind of, telling the story of your transformation. And this is kind of the same way they're doing it here. I get it. I've been there. There was a time when, all those things were happening. So you can kind of tell your own personal side of the story as a way of introducing yourself, and then talk about your transformation. So like, okay, I was able to get to the other side because, these are all the things that I've been able to experience right now. It was all due to, kind of your discovery, like your discovery of your process. So again, every mom and parent, is reading all these books and going through all these programs, but what makes your program unique? Like in those 3 days, in that process that you're giving them, how can you kind of tease out your process a little bit, so that they know that it's not something that they've read before or tried before. It's something brand new to kind of tease out your process. And then again, just like this one did, join the 5-day parenting reboot, you give them a couple bullet points on what potentially is going to come out. So again, some curiosity, but also benefit statements on talking about specific problems that they might be having right now, and how from a personal development perspective, they can get to the other side again. So I can certainly help with the ad copy and things like that and give you even more advice, but that's kind of how I would think about it. It's like, especially in this first few lines, like let's speak to, think about, especially for these moms, their problems aren't 24 hours a day. There are specific moments where they are most stressed, or where they're really feeling from a mindset perspective, kind of completely crazy. So let's take them to and think about it in your own journey. Like, when were those times where you were just completely overwhelmed, completely stressed from a mindset perspective? And how can we kind of talk about and mention those specific moments and kind of take our audience there? And once they're there, then they're going to be more willing to accept your solution, consider a 3-day event, those kind of things. So start with like those specific trigger moments. Pick one that you think will most resonate with your audience, that kind of brings out from your own life. Tell the story of how you got to the other side. So all the great things from a mindset perspective you're able to do now. And then we start to tease out like, okay, what is your process? Is it a 3-step process, 4-step process, whatever it is? For this one, it's 5 key strategies. I tend to want to keep it 3 to 4 strategies to keep it really simple. But let them know why it's different from all the other books that are out there, or courses and all that kind of stuff as you go along, and then tease out, like, in this 3-day event, what are they going to discover? Again, all about the benefits, not as much about how it's hard work and all that kind of stuff. What are they going to be able to walk away with at the end of it? And again, the idea is to get to a link where they get a little bit more information on the other side, a little bit more about you, some testimonials, a little bit more about what each day is going to cover, what are the times, all those kind of things are really helpful. So that's the ad. And again, kind of the landing page. That's what I would suggest, kind of testing what you have versus what you have right now. If we go just to the targeting, I'll just go to Business Manager. And again, I'm not sure if you boosted a post or went into Business Manager, but if you are running ads, I would definitely suggest going into Business Manager and running it from an ad manager perspective. You're just going to have a lot more options from a targeting perspective, but just from an ad perspective, and you're going to get a lot more data about how your ad is performing. So if I just go in here and I just choose, in terms of locations. So I would just do people living in that location. If you don't do it there, you have like people that are visiting as tourists and things like that. You really want those people that are in your, home market. Again, I'm not sure what you chose, but again, just using the example of, you just want to go to Australia as your home market, and that's who we want to go put your ad in front of. You can see on the right-hand side, it's 9.2 million people. And what I did was select women here. You can obviously narrow down your age range to kind of the target market that you're looking for. And this is where I would kind of narrow it down a little bit more. Again, it's at 9.2. What kind of the sweet spot of targeting would be somewhere in the range of 500K to 1 million. That's kind of like a big enough audience that Facebook has enough room to find those responses, but also, not too small that they don't have enough data. So if we go a little bit further down, if we go into this detailed targeting, what I would do is type in parents, and you'll see something called parents demographics. So just choose that. And you'll see on the right hand side, it's 1.7 million people. So it's a little bit larger. So what else can you do? Like how to really think about targeting is really the combination of who are the people that I want to put my ad in front of. So the easiest thing is like if moms are your primary target, like this is an easy way to do it. We chose women, we chose parents. Those are going to be the moms. And then how can we narrow it down a little bit more to get it, below 1.7 million people to be a little bit more specific. And that's where you're going to go. That's where you're going to go to narrow audience right here. And then kind of really think about like, okay, like who are those moms that you most want to talk to? And it says, and must also match. So this says like, okay, first they're a mom, but like what else are they potentially interested in? This is where, again, if you're talking about mindset, if you're talking about personal development, think about all those moms that might be following one of those, personal development gurus within Australia or in the global landscape. And I'm not familiar with all the personal development gurus in Australia, but if I just use like maybe Marie Forleo as an example, just because she is global and I know, some of your audience is following her, and we can see that gets us down a little bit too small. So you can see, 19,000 people. So that's way too small in terms of what you're looking for. But one of the things you can take a look at is like, okay, who are those other people within Australia or your home market where they already have the audience that you're looking for? Is there a specific guru or influencer or things like that where people press the problem? So again, you're focused, you're focused on women, or you're focused on moms. Like what else are they thinking about? What else are they interested in when it relates to your problem of kind of mindset and personal development? Like who are those people that have your audience? You can obviously type them in from a detailed targeting perspective and see how big of an audience do they have. Think about authors. Think about, obviously like, if I just typed in like Tony Robbins, let's see if that makes a difference. He's like obviously much more well known. Let's see, that brings us. So again, too small in terms of that. So 74,000 people. But again, if you want to make it a little bit more, so maybe if we take out the parents and we just have people that, we just have women that are interested in Tony Robbins, you can see 320,000 people. What else can we do? We can always put in, we can put in other personal development gurus that might get it a little bit higher. So again, 390,000. Again, it doesn't have to be completely within that 500K to a million range, but that's a pretty good market. Again, we're targeting women that have some interest in personal development. Again, there might be an Australian guru or somebody on that side of the world that's a better match to get this number a little bit higher, but that's really generally the idea. So that's kind of the way to think about targeting, is really just getting down the audience to less than a million, somewhere in that range of 500K. Again, don't run it globally. The other thing as well is like think about the language. It's down here as well. Languages, instead of going all languages, you don't want a bunch of people that don't speak English or whatever it is. So definitely go in here and type in whatever makes sense for you, and that will kind of bring down the list as well. But that's generally the idea of thinking about like who are the people that I most want at my event in terms of demographics and things like that. Think about the things that they're interested in, like the unique characteristics. That will also help you do a little bit of research. But you can see kind of just by typing in certain things, it'll give you some of those numbers along the way. But I think just looking at your event a little bit more generally, at the very least, focus on those women, focus on maybe a couple different personal development gurus to kind of show that they're interested in kind of anxiety or overwhelm. If there's a parenting guru within Australia, that might be a good fit. That's a little bit more tied towards mindset. That could help as well. So just kind of do some research around here. You just don't want this audience too big or too small. That'll help you kind of save some money, but also ensure that your ad gets in front of the right people as we go along. So hope that was helpful. Any further questions, just let me know. Thanks.